Hey, Jacob.
Oh, hey, Matt.
What are we driving today?
It's the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max.
Pro Max. That should mean it's pretty damn good, huh?
Well, you'd think so.
Well, we've spent a lot of time in Chery products this year, and well, one of them that we've gotten to know very intimately is this, the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max. Well, now we have a long-term impressions video.
This is the bloody cherry on top.
So, we have been splitting these Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Maxes between Jacob and I, so I feel like we're both, I would call us experts on this at the moment.
I would say we are the foremost authority.
Now, as always, we are very open and transparent. So this video is sponsored by Chery, but only so far as chuck us a bit of money, make some content on the car. So there's a lot of things we could have done. You know, we could have driven it up to a winery, had a wine, and called it a day, right? Like a lot of our friends in this industry, Jacob. But I was like, you know what? No, I want to take the hard route. I want to live with this car.
We're going to spend some time.
Yeah, I want to tell my audience what's really good about the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max and what's not very good, because a lot of people are going to go out there and they're going to buy one of these, and that's really what they want to know. So today I'm going to take you for a full tour of this. I'm going to give you my impressions over the long term that we've spent now with this thing. We're going to go through the exterior, the interior, practicality. We are going to launch this thing. See, is it just as surprising as before?
Bro, honestly, it might.
It's called Pro Max for a reason. Then we're going to give this thing lots of sauce on a terrible day.
Yeah, gotta
Thanks,
love
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Thanks,
Gotta love Melbourne.
And then we're going to end on our final thoughts of the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max and wrap up our long-term impressions.
I'm sad. I'm sad to see it go.
Let's get into it. Alrighty, Daddy Jacob. Now, I haven't told you what the price is, and I've told you specifically not to look into the price. So,
Look, I might have peaked, I'll be honest.
God damn it, you've ruined it. Fine, well, I haven't ruined it for you guys.
Don't worry, I'll act surprised.
Okay, this thing, I mean, you will be surprised, I think, no matter what. It's a 7-seat, affordable SUV. You just don't see many of these. Starts at $41,990.
What?
And
that was a YouTuber reaction.
But like, legitimately, guys, that is insanely like low cost for what is a 7-seat family SUV that comes really well equipped. This one here, it's the ultimate all-wheel drive.
It's naturally. Of course it is.
We wouldn't drive anything else.
No.
But honestly, you could drive any of the range and be happy. This one here obviously comes with the all-wheel drive, comes with other things like a fragrance system. I'm not sure if I love it, but anyway, it comes with it. And it tops out $47,990 drive.
Holy crap!
So yes, guys, like, honestly, it's unbelievably, like, low pricing. This thing is one of the most affordable 7-seaters, like, ever.
Yeah, it's genuinely mind-blowing.
And it's big, and it comes so well equipped, and that's one big thing I love about it. So let's talk about the way that this thing looks. I kind of wish we didn't have it in the white, because white's always boring. You can get this thing in like purple, you can get it in green. There's like 9 different colors you can get this in.
I just know you'd be rocking the green, bro.
I'd go purple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd go full purple.
Yeah, you are a bit flamboyant.
You live one life, okay?
Yeah, get the purple
YOLO.
Tiggo 8 Pro Max.
You have these really bright LED lights here that have very cool daytime running lights, also sequential indicators. I mean, remember guys, this tops out less than 50 grand, like far less, $47,990 drive away. Unreal.
Wild.
You get this huge diamond patterned grille with the new Chery logo there. Very nice. You have a discreet bumper down the bottom, a radar there. You've also got cameras up there. This thing scored a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. And in fact, it apparently performed so well that ANCAP came out essentially applauding Chery for making very safe cars.
They gave it a 6th star.
I don't think so. But it did reach the maximum 5 stars, so that is very impressive. When we went with Chery to China earlier in the year, one of the things they told us is they crash 5 cars every single day at their dedicated crashing facilities. And so I'm not surprised that this thing scored a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. And from the front, I think it actually looks really nice. Let's check out the side. Alrighty, let's come to the side, Daddy Jake. What do you think?
Looks very nice. Looks like an SUV.
Looks like an SUV, right? So you got these 19-inch machine alloy wheels here. Like I said, they all come really, really well spec'd. So on the outside, it's quite hard to tell the difference between like the entry level and this top of the range. One of the ways you can tell though is that it's wrapped in Cooper tires, and that is an American brand of tires. It's a really good tire. But if you go for a lower grade, you get a Gitti tire, which is just a more affordable tire, really. You have a TGDI badge. That's because this thing, it's got a pretty potent 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder under the bonnet, but we'll come back to that. Got a 360 camera here. Obviously, you get keyless entry and go. Very tinted privacy glass. It's got roof rails as standard. And otherwise, it's a big 7-seat SUV. Let's talk about the bum.
Let's do it.
So, Jacob, this will forever be one of my favorite things about the Tiggo.
Oh, what is it? Oh.
Oh, it's going to do a little... Oh, it's doing a dance.
It's doing the Tiggo dance.
You know, that used to be like a really exclusive Audi feature. Not anymore, bitch. So yes, now you can see that it's got a very nice tail light bar on it. Very cool. Obviously everything's LED, including again sequential indicators there. You have your all-wheel drive badge. That's another way that you can tell that this is the ultimate all-wheel drive. You have a 390T badge, which is a bit weird because it actually has 375 Newton meters of torque. So we get a slightly detuned version versus China, though nothing really noticeable, especially as we drove.
As you'll find out.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick.
And you have the Tiggo 8 Pro Max badge here, which, like I said in the original review, there's so many letters going on here that it's really hard to get straight, and so it's not quite straight. So that's something that you do notice.
It's stylishly crooked.
It's stylishly crooked, exactly. Down the bottom, you have a nice big diffuser and real quad exhaust, and because you guys are sadists, this is what it sounds like. Alrighty guys, let's talk about what it can fit inside of its bum. Oh, powered tailgate.
Oh, it's been a while, bro.
Oh, it's been a while.
Feels good.
So the Tiggo 8 Pro Max, even though it looks quite similar to a Tiggo 7 Pro, which we've also reviewed, and I'll link that down below, it's actually 40 millimeters longer, and a lot of the benefit for that is in the back. Even with this third row up, you still get 117 liters of boot space.
Damn, that's pretty good.
It's actually pretty good. You've also got almost no underfloor storage, but there is a nice big subwoofer, and as you'll see, the Sony sound system in here is actually really good. You can, of course, drop the rear seats, super easy to do. And then you get 479 liters of boot space. And if you really want to, you can even drop the second row, and then you get a stupid amount.
But you know what, man? As we found out, just the third row down, you can fit like 3 big suitcases.
Yeah, easily.
So that's pretty good.
It's been really, really good, especially if you need to cart things around, even having people in the third row, because there has been a couple of times now where I've had adults in the back. It's fine. Like, you have enough space, probably not for a big trip, but enough space for going to the shops or whatever.
Are you saying you have other friends?
That's all I have to say to that. All right, let's check out the interior.
That was a display of dominance.
Alrighty, guys. Oh, interior now. Shh, 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 shh.
It's really trying to keep you warm.
Interior now of the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max. Jacob, you've spent a bit of time with this now. What do you think?
Dude, it is luxury.
Oh, my senses.
See what I mean?
My senses are being touched.
Tingled.
You see, under here, in this really cavernous open area, we have 3 of these. These are called canisters. That smells like sport. They have 3 different types of fragrance in here, and you can change the way it pumps it in. You don't have to have it at all. I don't know where I stand on fragrance in general. I don't really love it in my cars, but the fact that you even get it here
Very cool.
On a car that's $47,990 drive away is unbelievable to me. Now, let's talk about what I like, because frankly, there is just so much. Now, we have the brown interior here. You can get the black interior as well. Brown is an option here on the Ultimate. Touch around, and there is literally soft touch material just everywhere. In fact, you're quite hard pressed to find not soft touch material. Even the center armrest is nice and soft and just a shit ton.
It's cavernous.
Just a ton of storage with an air conditioning vent in there to keep things nice and cool. In terms of design, you have wood panels here. It's not real wood, but it feels like it. Open it up, you get a couple of cup holders. You have a wireless charger there, USB-A port, USB-C port. The glove box is a massive size as well. You have, like I said, heaps of under bin storage here, including a 12-volt socky-wocky there. It's actually very, very impressive. Technology as well. It's what we've come to expect from Chery at this point. You have these dual 12.3-inch curved displays, work really well. Since having this, they've actually added Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly, which is fantastic.
Gotta love over-the-air updates, right?
Yeah, no, seriously, really, really good. And it works well, especially when you use that wireless charger, because it's a 50-watt wireless charger with an air conditioning vent to it to keep your phone cool, so it actually charges properly. So
That's attention to detail.
Yeah,
that's actually really good.
That actually works. A lot of wireless chargers just don't work. That actually does. You have this faux leather all around the interior too. It's very nice. This steering wheel, it's a big fat Chery steering wheel, but it's really easy to use. It also has like proper buttons to it.
Ooh.
See, this is one of my gripes, right? And perhaps this is just me being a little weird, right? A lot of manufacturers will use membrane switches, but these are actual tactile switches.
And it makes a difference. It feels more premium.
And there's a lot of other really nice attention to detail, like the speaker covers here, it's metal. You do get a Sony sound system, and by the way, here's how we EQ tune it. Essentially just add a bit more bass to it. It gives it a lot more depth. Yeah, oomph. That's a good one. I like oomph. But yeah, it's a really good sound system here too. Genuinely, it is really hard to fault this interior. I guess if I had to nitpick, I really had to nitpick. Sometimes when you switch drive modes, it takes a second.
Now you're searching.
Yeah, I'm really searching. Arguably, the most annoying part of this interior is the driver monitoring system. Now, it is an ANCAP requirement. If you want a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, you have to have this. And actually, they've done some over-the-air updates, and it just makes it so much better. This thing is not as annoying as it was when it first launched, even 2 months ago. Same with the autonomous driving. Like, they've also been updating that on the fly. It's so much better, and it means that don't even turn it off now. Used to be something I turned off every single time. Not anymore. Up in front of you is another display, and that is, of course, your digital instrument cluster. You have different modes, including fashion, streamer, and classic.
Gotta love Chery's naming schemes.
Yeah, you can see a bunch of different things on it though. It's very customizable, so that is actually very good. And then there are the seats, and I actually discovered this feature like well into having this car. These headrests here, Jacob, look.
They have adjustable bolstering.
That's insane. Like, when do you ever see that outside of like a plane, right? You just don't. And that's really the whole thing of this cabin, is it does feel like a bit of a cockpit. These faux leather seats, they are very, very nice. They're also heated and cooled. Don't know why, it's just the base of them that are heated and cooled. You know what? At least you get something, right? At least they come with it. You have to spend like 90 grand if you want it on a Ford Ranger. So
Very true.
you can also go, hello, Chery.
Here.
Open the sunroof.
This is a terrible mistake.
Okay.
And it will do it. Too bad it's raining. But when this does open up all the way, I swear, Jacob, it's like a convertible. Oh! Oh! That was a terrible idea.
Bro, I told you.
Oh, it's gone down my butt.
Bro, now you can feel what I'm feeling.
Anyway, even here, like the safety suite, they've made it so it's an inbuilt dash cam. So you don't have to spend like another $800 buying a nice dash cam and wiring it up. It's literally just in the car. It's got a little SD slot over there.
Yeah, just buy an SD card. Can we talk about the other thing that really annoys me about the interior?
Chery might pull funding.
Wait. No, they're not. They might pull the other thing. I hope they pull this mirror off and replace it with something that's not fisheye.
Okay, yeah, this is a bit weird. It's like a 3D effect. It's fisheye, so you can see your kids in the back in the third row really well, but then outside the back of the car, it becomes just a little bit more fisheye. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
We're gonna keep saying it until you do
But
it.
you know what? Yeah. All right, let's check out the back. Alrighty-roo, Jacob.
How dare you mock me?
One of my favorite things Jacob's ever said. I'm 5'11". I've got so much legroom, heaps of toe room, heaps of headroom as well, even with this sunshade slightly closed. Thankfully, quality does not take a hit back here. You have nice soft touch materials pretty much everywhere. You can also very clearly see the ambient lighting that's around the interior, even metal for the grating.
It's genuinely impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I love how the Tiggo font here is like gold and like western, like an 1860s western.
Makes you feel like you're in Westworld.
Yeah. You got a couple of air vents here, USB-A port, USB-C port. You've also got a little storage area there, and another one over here. You have incredibly deep map pockets. It's quite interesting, actually.
Like a kangaroo's pouch.
Oh yes, like a kangaroo pouch. The Tiggo seats back here, they are nice, very, very nice. They would fool you that they're real leather. They've also got very nice headrests as well, which is shocking. You do have this fold-down center armrest. That's all nice and soft with a couple of cup holders. That's all very good. And back here, you also have access to this chauffeur feature, which is pushing the passenger seat forward
That is so cool.
electronically. Like, it's just crazy, honestly. It's just wild. Of course, there is a third row, so one thing I would recommend is sliding this seat a little bit forward and then getting in. And as an adult, even I can fit back there, although if the seats were all the way back, you probably won't. Again, at 5'11", I've got enough leg room, I've got enough toe room, and headroom is just enough as well. If you're much taller than me, you might struggle back there. But the fact that I can fit back there, even as a fully grown adult, is genuinely quite surprising, considering that this isn't like the world's biggest 7-seater, so it is very good. You also get your air conditioning plumbed into the third row too, with a separate fan controller back there, so that's fantastic as well. And you get a little storage area with a cup holder too, and again, nice faux leather seats. Jacob,
Genuinely impressed, man.
it's really impressive.
Really good packaging.
CarSauce.com/buy.
Oh!
That's right. If you want to buy one of these, we can connect you to a dealer that will get you the absolute best price on your next Chery.
Yeah, don't go out into the rain to a dealership. Just contact us.
It's a totally free service for you because we charge the dealers a fixed fee, which means that we will always go in hardest to get you the best price. And because we have thousands of dealers across Australia, we can source cars that others simply cannot. So definitely head to CarSauce.com/buy and join our many, many happy customers who have bought their cars, well, at a good price.
Yeah, maybe get a green Tiggo 8 Pro Max.
Or purple. Jacob, let's launch it.
Let's do it.
All righty, daddy, Jacob. Time to launch.
Pro Max.
Pro Max. Look,
Bloody mouthful.
this thing surprised me last time, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I remember watching the video. My favourite part of that was when you got cut off by that lady in the Sydney traffic.
That woman just said you, even though she cut in front of me. Classic Sydney, right?
Classic.
Now we have the car in sport mode. Last time I got 6.95 seconds. What will we get now? Are you going to fist me?
Probably about 7.2.
This is terrible weather.
Yeah, it's
so
terrible.
I wouldn't be surprised if it got a lot worse because last time it was dry. Come on, baby.
Oh, that's pretty good grip.
That surprised me.
No loss of traction.
This weather is so terrible, I
Oh
can't
my
believe
God.
I did that. Oh! I love
Exact same reaction.
Exactly. Oh, okay. Yeah, not quite as good. But to be fair, you're sitting in the car with me and it's a terribly wet day. I was at 107.6 seconds.
That's pretty good, man.
That's
In
pretty
the
terrible.
wet weather, and I've gained a few kilos. So, you know what? Pretty good.
All right, let's drive this thing normally. All right, Daddy Jacob, before we give our long-term driving impressions,
It smells a bit funky in here.
it smells funky. So let's change the scent. So we go here. Well, this is the way I do it.
Oh, ion.
We press the little fragrance button. Now, do we put on sport, cure, or natural?
You already know we're going to put it on sport.
We'll put it on sport, all right? I'm going to put it on, we're going to put it on 5.
Maximum sport mode. It smells like the dunes of the Sahara.
Can't actually smell.
No, I can't smell anything.
You know what? It might hit us later.
All right.
All right?
We're just going to cop a whiff of it like halfway through this segment, I think.
All right, you ready?
So ready. Don't launch it here.
It's a dirt launch. Come on, dual clutch.
God. Whoa.
Jesus.
Jesus. This car is like so weirdly fast, man. I still don't get it.
I remember when I first reviewed it at the launch, I just was like, what the
It's
heck?
like a weird hot hatch,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
like a weird hot hatch. So powering this thing is a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine. It's the biggest Chery engine we get in Australia, hence the Pro Max, of course. And it puts out a pretty staggering
180 kilowatt of power. It's pretty
And-
good. And 375 newton meters. So very healthy numbers there.
very healthy. You put your foot down.
You can feel it.
It's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it's got torque for days. It's one of those engines that feels like effortless, like it will just continue pulling.
100%. I was actually, when I first drove this car, I was like convinced there was a hybrid motor somewhere, like hiding in there.
Little electric motor.
Yeah.
Oh, let me turn on.
Different sensitivity.
Oh.
Oh no, it's
Yeah, here we
it's
go.
too sensitive.
We got it. So here's the thing I've loved about driving the Tiggo 8 Pro Max, and that is that it really does have like a Euro feel to its suspension. It just feels,
Definitely.
I don't know, settled. Like
Very planted.
very planted,
Yeah.
but comfortable still. So it doesn't have a huge amount of body roll at all, actually. And it just feels like nice. Like they've done a good job, especially when you compare it to a Tiggo 7 Pro. It's going to say Pro Max, but it's not that because it comes with a 1.6
It's very
litre.
confusing. We're using iPhone terminology here.
We are. But that has like an opposite setup to this where it's
Yes.
got a very soft suspension, which is not a bad thing. But if we put this car into sport mode, the steering...
With our sport fragrance activated.
Yeah, true. I'm smelling it.
Yeah, I think it's coming
Yeah,
through
it's
now.
coming through. The steering becomes like heavy, but it is still a little bit on the lighter end. I thought that might be a bad thing, but now having spent a lot of time with this, when you are around town and you're in like shopping centres, dare I say, it's
You'll be thanking your lucky stars.
no, honestly, it's really good. And you can just see as we're going around these corners on a wet day, we actually have quite a lot of stability. We have the Borg-Warner all-wheel drive system.
Okay.
And it's a front-wheel drive bias, but it will send power to the rear as necessary, up to 50% of torque. And that also means that we get the better Cooper tyres.
Nice.
And you just notice it on days like today.
As compared to the Gitty ones,
The Gitty
right?
ones,
Yeah.
exactly right. And it just makes such a difference. Like, it's so planted even on a terribly cold, wet day like today. It's 8 a.m, it hasn't even broken 10 degrees yet. It's nasty conditions.
Classic Melbourne.
But here we are, Daddy Jacob at Saucy Bloody Corner.
As the rain picks up.
Tickle my little pickle. Here we go.
Oh my God. Thanks for the Borg-Warner sound system.
You could hear it sending power to the back. All right.
Oh God, we're going very fast.
Hairpin. Oh my God, it's so wet. Numero uno.
And that is the advantage of having that dual clutch transmission is I feel like it's very responsive.
It
Oh,
is.
God.
I forgot to mention it. We have a 7-speed dual clutch. It's probably a good thing I forgot to mention it because it's just kind of there in the background. So it's a totally fine dual clutch. I thought it wouldn't be that great. I'll be honest with you. I think I had natural biases.
We've definitely experienced some pretty crappy dual clutch transmissions in our time.
We have.
This is not one of them.
It isn't. In fact, I'm not going to lie. There was a Skoda I was driving recently that with its dry clutch, it was giving me a lot of headaches, but frankly, this has been totally fine. I really have not noticed it, especially when you turn off auto stop start,
Yes.
which is a emissions feature. You turn it off, it stays off. I haven't turned it back on. It's been amazing. And you can see it there, that it stayed off. Perfect. It's like a phantom car next to me.
That's a little spooky.
Oh, I've been distracted. Good segue. So they have actually updated the driver monitoring system to be less annoying, which is a very good thing because when I first reviewed it,
It was very sensitive.
it was very sensitive.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've been distracted for too long. And I'm like, no, you've been distracted. Then we get into an argument.
And before you know it, you've missed your exit.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So now they've updated that, and not only that, they've also updated the driving assistance here. So we turn it on, the green steering wheel turns on, and then this thing will essentially drive itself down a highway.
Yes. And honestly, it's a genuinely good system.
It's a good system,
Yeah.
it's locked on now, it steers, the car will steer itself.
That was probably one of our main critiques of the Tiggo 7, right? Was the fact that the self-driving was kind of jerky.
Yeah.
And you said that you spoke to the guy that actually tuned the system, and he said that they target like long, sweeping, undulating controls rather than sharp, jerky things. So you can definitely tell the difference now.
Exactly right. So it's now tuned for the Australian market. Look, overall, it's honestly really hard to complain about this system. Maybe the fuel economy isn't like the best because of how much power it has. It does use a little bit more fuel than maybe some competitors, but for a 7-row SUV...
Bro, you would think after so many bloody months of driving this car, you'd remember where the fuel economy is.
Here we go. 9.4 litres when we reset it 100 kilometres ago.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
No.
It's not the best.
For a turbo 4-cylinder with this kind of performance, it's pretty good.
And
So,
7 seats.
Yeah, can't forget that.
All right, Daddy Jacob, let's get into our final thoughts.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. Final thoughts on the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it is sponsored to an extent by Chery, but we deliberately only work with companies that will still allow us to say what we truly think. Just like we've done with every other brand we work with. We really do cherry pick them, pun intended. That was good.
That was a good one. On the spot too.
The reality is that the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max definitely has some flaws, like it's light steering when you're cornering out here in the country. However, I really do believe that it is arguably the best value 7-seat SUV on sale in Australia, topping out at $47,990. You can get into one of these for the low 40s, and it just comes with literally everything and more. I mean, the bloody fragrance system, sure, I don't love it personally.
So extra.
But the fact that you get that when it was like exclusive to $300,000 S-classes like 5 years ago, says a lot, man.
Says a lot about the industry, and I think Chery are continuing to make some of the nicest interiors of this price range. So,
Truly. Yeah, Chery of 10 years ago was not great, right?
Oh, no.
But a lot has changed, and we saw that when we were in China. So if you want to go watch that, I'll link that down below. It's actually quite eye-opening. And if you want to buy a Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max and you want the best price with cars that are in stock, maybe even the purple ones, check out carsauce.com/buy. We have thousands of dealers, and we will connect you to the best one for you, totally free. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.